Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How would you like to play the Royal Navy? It was one of the most powerful navies during the Second World War, and possibly the most powerful at the start of it. For example, they had HMS Hood, they had HMS Prince of Wales, they had HMS, a lot of HMS's ships. I'm not entirely sure what they all are, but they had a lot of ships with HMS in front because, British. Anyway, it was awesome. All their ships. They had class, they had honours, they served everywhere. They was amazing. For example, the Hood. Do you want to play the Hood? Well, fuck you then, because they're bringing in the Russians. No jokes. My first instinctive reaction when I heard of this from a friend was, the fuck. That was my literal reaction. Do you know why? Because Russia has a massive national pride, and so they're going to bring them in first. No jokes. The reason being, because we do have a very large Russian community who have a very strong sense of national pride. End of quote. So in essence, they pretty much only use anything that is Russian. Except there lies a problem. They had maybe about 4 ships max. Well, they obviously had much more. However, if you count an effective ships, they probably had 2. If you're talking about World War One ships, they probably had 2. I don't know. But I know for a fact they did not have much ships. They had very, very few. Of the ships they actually served, I would say about a good 80, maybe 90% of them were loaned from Britain and America. Well, it's going to be Britain and America because they're the only ones that probably sent anything apart from the odd few. Right. Blah, blah, blah. There were, actually, in fact, plans to release a Royal Navy first, not first as in like thing, but third on the list, after the IGN and the US Navy. However, they changed it purely for business reasons, as there is a massive Russian player base. But what they fail to realise is that there's also a massive player base outside of Russia, who are really interested in playing the Royal Navy, me included, because I'm British. I'd play any navy. I'd play Russian Navy, no problems. But I wouldn't play the British Navy because they had the ships. They had the amazing ships. They had modern ships, King George V class, battleship, HMS Hood, battlecruiser. Not entirely what class it was, but it was a battlecruiser, and I really want to play that. The pride of the Royal Navy at the time of its commission, and at the time of its sinking. There are far more notable ships than the Royal Navy, and a single destroyer probably has far more honours than the entire Russian Navy put together, whose only notable achievement is having their ass handed to them at Battle Tsushima by the Japanese. So I don't know what Wargaming are thinking, but each to their own. It's not that I really care that much, to be honest. Oh well. Does it matter? Another reason, like I said before, is a lot of original Russian ships were essentially non-existent, except for maybe 4 or 5. Max. Maybe 8, I don't know. But there were not much, in the least. I know for a fact there was the Kirov class cruiser, and there was the Gnevy class destroyer. But other than that, I'm not too sure. I didn't go delve too much into it, but I know they didn't have much. Most of the Russian Navy were loaned, and even then it would be nowhere near enough to fill in the entire dectory, and nothing even to start an aircraft carrier line. An example of a loan ship was British Revenge class battleship, which was loaned from 1944 and handed back to 1945, and I think it was decommissioned 1949, I believe. I think it was scrapped. And at the end of the war, they used some 1934 A destroyers. It was Germany. It was German. I think they had 2 or 3. I believe it was 2. And used it until the late 1950s. And they even went so far as to use an Italian ship. It was given to them in 1949, and it was a Condottieri class of light cruiser, and multiple American vessels such as the Omaha light cruiser and Town class. I think it was Town class. I don't think it's exactly Town class, but it's along that. I think it's a destroyer. Even this adapt. They won't get any aircraft carriers. If they do, I'm going to call bullshit, because they had no aircraft carrier until the late 1960s. No, until the mid 1960s, not late. I think their first was like 1966, 1967. I can't remember, but it was nowhere near in the timeline to have it in the game. Otherwise, they'd have like guided missile launchers and all that crap. So yeah, if they're gonna add some aircraft carriers, they're gonna have to find blueprints from the depths of hell, or come up with some bullshit excuse like giving some American aircraft carriers. And like I said, they're gonna have to add paper ships as well, because even with all of the what do you call it, all of the loan ships, they're not gonna have a complete line. They're not gonna have a complete line at all. She'll probably fill up maybe 30-40%. Nah, that's too low. 40-50% will have to be loaned, and the rest will have to be paper. It's not going to have a complete line. Another reason is because the Royal Navy. Well, yeah, the Royal Navy had a very rich history. I got really lost on that. The Royal Navy has a very rich history in the Second World War. It went up against the KMS Bismarck, went against the Tirpitz. Actually, that's a lie. It got hit by many tall boy bombs. I think we got hit by 2 tall boy bombs by the... I think it was in the fjords of Norway, I think, by the Lancaster bombers. Just boop, bang. It was... Anyway, that's getting really, really off there for a minute. In any case, the Royal Navy served all over the world, from the North and South Atlantic, the Pacific, Indian Ocean, essentially all over the world. Even engagement near the Falkland Islands. It was against 2 ships, I believe. I forgot what they... No. What's it called? It was Battle River Plate. Or was that First World War? I honestly can't remember. But it was somewhere down there near Scotland and had to go to Argentina. The Germans now. Yeah, the HMS saw combat with the KMS Bismarck along with the HMS Prince of Wales. The hood was sank. There are some arguments on how it was sunk, including a shell going underneath the water, hitting the hull. Others saying that it went through the decks. Others saying it hit a torpedo. The torpedoes exploded. And to be honest, I don't know. But the most widely explained one is it went through the deck, I believe. What did the Soviet Union do in the Second World War? Maybe they had like a bombardment. I don't know. I know they saw some during the evacuation of what's it called? It was an evacuation. I forgot what the evacuation was from. Basically, when the Russians pushed, that place north of Poland. I can't remember for the life of me, but I think the Russian Navy saw combat there, and also Britain had aircraft carriers. No, wargaming. Why? The Russian Navy should not be put in this game. Well, it should be put in the game, but not until much later. This is Parker, signing off. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Parker out.
Problem solved, sir.